What's up? I'm feeling. I was just listening to my own lyrics there, getting inspired. So
yeah, man, I'm getting inspired too, man.
You know, the thing is, as an artist, sometimes you like not so much with this release because it came out this year, but you know, because you don't. I don't think most artists listen to their own music a great deal.
Yeah.
Like I only do really when I have a gig or a live show coming up, and I need to sort of make sure I remember all the lyrics and everything properly. So sometimes I create stuff or I write stuff. I don't forget what I said, but you know, you move on and you start working on writing other songs, and it's actually nice to go back and listen to the other ones, and it kind of puts you back in that mental state. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, that's actually.
I'd say probably for your songs, because your songs are actually lyrically, there's something there, you know, like you can listen to it. It's not just like a hip hop tune. It's like, you know, like a rider, what I'd call like a riding tune. Like, it's just like they're saying the same thing over and over again with your tunes.
Yeah. No,
there's a message there, isn't there?
Absolutely. I think without a message, I don't know. I think hip hop is. I think hip hop needs balance. So I don't think that every artist necessarily should be super duper deep or necessarily has to be. But I think it's important to have that balance, like across the board, whether it's on the radio, on the mainstream, and whatnot. You know, if you're going to have something that's, you know, just a mindless, ignorant club tune, then I think that's okay, as long as there's also something else to balance it out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And different artists have different lanes. Some artists are very good at just making club bangers. They might not really be saying much, but you know, they make people feel something, they uplift people in a way, and it serves a purpose. And then, you know, you've also got your, you know, super duper political rappers, for example. Like me, I'm not a super duper political person. If I was, then I'd put that through my music. I'm more of I guess like a motivational, inspirational.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say your music is more positive and
so positive, but I'm not going to be talking about lots of, I don't know, government conspiracy theories or, you know, getting overly deep about major social issues. You know what I mean? Maybe once in a while if that's just how I feel and that's what I want to get off my chest. But I'm certainly not on, you know, Immortal Technique or Acapellas or Low Key, like that kind of level of political. And those guys are dope, and I think that's absolutely necessary. But I just think, you know, every artist has their lane, and just as each individual is interested in different topics and wants to portray themselves in a particular way.
Yeah, man. I mean, I would say like you're an anomaly. I mean, you've put that on your website. I think that it's written like
it's probably part of my bio.
Yeah, but I think you are, because I mean, the independent artist, 22,000. Is it 22,000 roughly? Songs sold. Has albums sold? Or?
That's albums. Yeah, it's to be honest, it's probably over 23,000 now. I don't really. There was a stage when I used to count. Quite specifically these days, I'm kind of focusing on goals other than pure sales, especially in the in this age of streaming and just the way music consumption has changed over time. You know, sales are still absolutely important, but it's just not my. Just getting that number. I kind of wanted to hit 20,000 just to be able to say, I've sold 20,000 albums without a record label, and will continue to do so. But I'm not at the stage now where I get too hung up on that. I'm just like, all right, I just want to reach people. Like, let me reach people. And the people who I've already reached, let me maintain that relationship, maintain that connection, and keep those people happy. And, you know, add as much value as I can to people, because I think that's what life's really about. It's something I've only maybe managed to realize and be able to express that concisely quite recently. But, you know, I think I've really learned over the past couple of years that it's really just about, you know, what you can, rather than just thinking what you can get from the world, you know, kind of thinking, all right, what can I give based on my talents, my abilities, and the powers that I have? Like, what can I contribute? And I think the way the world works, that will come back to you, you know, in terms of your career and fulfillment and everything else like that.
I guess I want to go kind of backwards.
That's fine.
With your life, like looking at your, like, where you've been or what you've done in your record life, like in your musical life, is one thing. But when I was reading your bio, saying like you grew up and lived in a few different places, like you lived in Saudi Arabia.
That's right.
Tell us the whole thing, man.
Yeah, sure thing. So my dad used to work out in Saudi Arabia. I lived there literally from the age of 1. that's really where I grew up. So you can probably hear me talking right now that I don't sound like a typical English person. I am actually English. I was born in England, but because I didn't grow up here, I went to an American school out in Saudi. I grew up with lots of Americans, Canadians, people from all over the world, really. And, all my teachers were American and everything like that. All the English I learned was American English. And so to this day, however many years or decades later, I still sound how I sound. But I think it's cool. It means I don't sound like any other British rapper, really. But it is just my voice. A lot of times people will hear my music. Someone who doesn't, a lot of times someone who doesn't know me at all might hear, okay, this is a rapper from England, and then they hear my music and they're like, oh wait, why is he trying to pretend to sound American or whatever? Which I can understand that from someone who's doesn't know the story. But no, as people can hear, it's my voice. This is my real voice. I haven't been faking an accent for the past 20 years. If I had, then that would be quite impressive.
So Saudi Arabia, what happened there? Like you taken there? Or?
Yeah, so it was cool, man. It was cool. Like it's a great place to grow up. I lived in like a big expat community. So like I said, there were people there from all over the world. So you had people from Saudi, and then lots of people from other Middle Eastern countries, lots of Americans, Canadians, a few British people just from everywhere. So just from the way I've grown up in a very, I guess, a very, very multicultural, multi-religion, multi-ethnic society. So that's always just been the norm to me. And I think that's probably something that served me well as I've grown up, because I've grown up, and seen lots of different cultures. Like my family's originally from Nigeria. Yeah. So I was born in England. I'm English. I went to school in England. I went to university in England. I now live in England, but I lived in Saudi Arabia for like almost 2 decades on and off.
Yeah.
And then I've also spent time in Nigeria, which is where I'm originally from. So just having those 3 different cultures and 3 different homes almost, I guess, has given me a very unique perspective on the world. And sometimes people ask, oh, how does that influence your music? And it's a very hard question to answer, because I'm sure it does, but it's not so much.
It's not direct.
It's not direct. It's just the way I view the world, the way I look at things is just, I think for everyone, it's based on your background and what you know. So I think it's a blessing that I was able to, just by circumstance.
And is your close places. Family in the UK?
Yeah, that's right. Cool. Yeah, for the most part. My sister is out in the Middle East now. She lives in Dubai, in fact, with her husband. My other sister is in Africa, in Swaziland, with her family. But then I've got 2 other siblings and their families who are in the UK. My parents are in the UK. And then I've got aunts, uncles, cousins scattered all over. So,
crikey, man. So a big family.
Yeah, I've got a big family. Yeah,
but it's good for you, I guess. You get to like go see them and stuff like that.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Yeah. Very, very, very close. Big family, but very close family, as a lot of people comment on and seem to find quite remarkable.